Hi friends, this is a super easy chocolate babka recipe. Simple, delicious. You can find all the ingredients written in the description below. You'll need 4 cups of all-purpose flour, 1/3 cup plus 2 tablespoons of sugar, 2 teaspoons of fine sea salt, 1 large egg plus a large egg yolk, 2 1/4 teaspoons of active dry yeast, a cup of warm whole milk, and 10 tablespoons of room temperature butter. First, combine the active dry yeast with the warm whole milk, and then let that sit and foam up for about 5 minutes. While you wait, whisk together the flour, sugar, and salt and have it ready to combine as soon as your yeast is ready. After those 5 minutes, you're going to combine the yeast mixture with your flour mixture along with the egg and the egg yolk. Combine them all together for about another 5 minutes until you see that it has started to form an actual dough. And if it's still a little rough, that's okay because the butter has not gone in yet. Once those ingredients look combined, you'll stick your butter in all at once and combine that until you see that the dough has come together completely. It all sticks together and forms a ball. You're going to stick that in a bowl, cover it with a towel or plastic wrap, and let it stand at room temperature for an hour. After that hour is up, you're going to take that dough, split it in two, and pat them into squares that you're going to wrap in plastic wrap and refrigerate overnight. For the inside of the babka, you'll need 8 ounces of milk chocolate, 4 ounces of bittersweet chocolate. You can tweak that if you want it a little bit more intense, add more bittersweet. If you want it a little sweeter, add more milk. You'll also need 12 tablespoons of unsalted butter. You'll also need 2 cups of ground chocolate wafer cookies and 3 tablespoons of light corn syrup. Now to melt the chocolate, you can use a stovetop. I tend to burn my chocolate on a stovetop, so instead I'm going to be putting hot water into my pot and putting a bowl on top. As you'll see, I have the chocolate, then fill it with hot water from my tea kettle, and I will just leave it with the heat that is already there and not keep it on top of a stove so that it doesn't burn. Add the butter in, let it melt, and then we're going to add in the chocolate wafers and the corn syrup and just mix it all together until it becomes a bit of a clumpy dough. I didn't get video of what it looks like once it's combined, but you will see it once I scoop it onto the rolled out dough in the next part. Now you're going to take one of the squares that was refrigerated overnight and you're going to roll it out into a long, thin rectangle. Now remember that we split the dough into 2 squares. I'm going to show you what to do with one half, and then while one is rising, you can come back and do the other one the same way. When your dough is ready, you're going to scoop about half the chocolate mixture onto your dough and spread it to about 1/4 of an inch along all the edges. Then once you see that you are done spreading it out and it's nice and even, you're going to start on one of the long edges of the rectangle and roll it completely to the other side. Once you've rolled it completely and it's one long log, you're going to cut that log in half with a sharp knife or tool, and then you're going to cover one of your halves with the remaining chocolate mixture. With the half that's not covered in chocolate, you're going to use that to braid it around the chocolate covered piece, then put it in your parchment covered baking pan. Cover your pan with a towel and let it sit in a warm place until it's doubled in size. Then remember to go back and make your second babka. Once it's ready, you're going to put it into the oven and bake it at 375 until it is nice and browned, about 45 minutes. While it's cooling, you're going to make the topping, which is going to be made similar to the inside. We're going to warm that chocolate. I'm using the same method as before with the hot water in the pot and then the bowl on top so that it doesn't get too hot. The ingredients we use for the topping is very similar to what we used inside, minus the wafer cookies. It's going to be a little bit more bitter. You're going to use 12 ounces of the bittersweet chocolate, 4 ounces of milk chocolate, 1.5 sticks of unsalted butter, and 2 tablespoons of light corn syrup. You're going to mix this all together until it becomes like a glaze. Once your glaze is ready and your babka has cooled, you just lather it on top. Try to reach every edge. If you have enough to grab the sides, do that as well. And then let it all cool, and that glazing will harden just a little bit so that you can cut through it and slice it. There you have it, a simple chocolate babka recipe. It does need to be made overnight, so a little bit of thinking ahead, but it is so worth it, so delicious. If you try it out, let me know what you think.